What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Sideline Summit YouTube channel. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Code, DC, UPenn's finest, Chris Coach, CB, Coach Boy. We got another great episode for you guys today. We will be giving our NBA weekly segment. I mean, we got the Lakers on a heater with and without Austin Reeves sometimes. They've done this whole thing, no LeBron, sometimes no Luka. They're on a heater. Philadelphia is starting to lose a little bit of their momentum. We'll talk about them a little bit. And then we'll break down which team should actually be using the AJ Dubastin meme. Nah, I'm just kidding. But after that, we'll get into our NFL Midseason Awards. If the season stopped today, who would be taking home all of the NFL honors? We'll get into all of that. And, of course, at the end of the episode, we'll do our game picks, our bold picks, and our lock-its and give everybody update records and whatnot. But, of course, before we get into our NBA Weekly, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Audio listeners, leave a like, 5-star review, anything to push the algorithm. We'd really appreciate it. But let's get into this NBA Weekly segment. I feel like we kind of have to talk about the Lakers. They're on a 5-game winning streak, and we just got news that LeBron he'll be reevaluated in 1 to 2 weeks, and he's going to start ramping up 5-on-5 contact for a team that has, I would say, the MVP so far in Luka, who is averaging a gajillion points per game, and it's a triple-double. Austin Reeves, who if the other two are out, he's seemingly gonna drop a 30-point triple double. DeAndre Ayton is starting to slowly mold into his role. Again, scared to jump the gun on him at the very least. But Chris, I have to start with you. What are you liking from your Lakers so far?
He tried to throw that in there. I'm telling you, I got a 1+1 like Brian. Whenever he gone, I'm gone too. But all that aside, I think they just look like a team with a plan. Even if the plan is just to get it to the best guys and then figure out from there, sometimes that's just the best thing to do. And that's always been the best with Luka. Kind of just let him have the basketball and you kind of go around that and build around that to see what's that. So I like that part of it. But also I think it's enabling Austin to do the same things because that's when Austin's the best. Like if you've ever watched Austin at Oklahoma, which I know a lot of people didn't, but a college basketball freak like me did, he's the best with the ball.
Freak.
Yeah, he's literally the best with the ball in his hands. He's best running pick and roll, same thing. He's like all these versions of Luka, a little smaller, but wants to do the same thing. He just wants to get to the mid-range instead of step back three, but it's the same concept. And I think him playing free like that is only going to work out in your favor when Luka needs a day off, Brian is 1,000 years old, or when the playoff times come, you need another score. Because I think that's the one thing that Austin lacked that was scoring against elite defense. Like the Timberwolves, when they had Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards, and that switchable defense, Reeves looked really out of sorts. He would have probably looked the same as the Thunder. So I think these games are important to be able to let him go against those elite defenders as the one so he can, get more practice, more reps at that. So when it's time when you need him to do that, when you need him to beat a Jaden McDaniels off the dribble with 8 seconds on the clock, he has more NBA run of doing that. So that's what I like the most. And I think it's just using everyone. Like you got the depth for a reason, or you tried to add the depth for a reason. And I think all the pieces that are being used or that are or were supposed to be important have been. Aiden's been a pleasant surprise. Rui's been consistent. Reeves, Luka, they've been literally carrying the team offensively, creating and scoring. So I think they look good. But most of that credit goes to JJ Redick. And for me, just being a smart basketball mind, but also a forward-thinking one, and being like on time with the times of the NBA. I think he's moving with that, and I think that's why the Lakers are seeing some success.
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree. Something that we were talking about that could even elevate this offense more, like you said, like, I don't know, maybe the offense is just get it to AR, get it to Luka, and eventually get it to LeBron and, let them kind of do their thing. But something that could even elevate this offense more is these backup guards and wings. Laravia, Gabe Vincent, Marcus Smart, even Bronny, Nick Smith Jr. They could add so many more points with this off-ball movement from your guards and wings. And a lot of it was left on the table. And, I originally brought it to the table with Chris the other day because I was like, Bronny, he could add 8 points per game just by fake backdooring, bounce back for an open three. But Chris kind of pointed out, he was like, even last year, that's what all the guards kind of did off the ball. There wasn't a lot of movement. I will say defensively, I saw a really good breakdown. JJ Redick had them in like a 3-2 zone or whatever. and it's pretty wild that Jackson Hayes doesn't know how to do that at his big age. But that's kind of been struggles with him. Basketball IQ hasn't always been his
He
strong
did
suit.
grow a
But
beard though, so that's something.
yep, beard grown. But yeah, I mean, DeAndre Ayton. I think having that game where there was no Luka, AR, or Braun, I think that was a really good opportunity for him. It's like, okay, well, I have to be the main scorer now. And of course, he got big help from Rui, big help from Nick Smith Jr. But it was good to see see AM put points on the board and impactful points on the board. Let me put it that way. Um, so yeah, that's awesome to see. The Lakers are off to a great start, and I know people don't like to admit it, but basketball is better when the Lakers are good. And Luka has been very open about how much the weight has helped him so far.
Some would say there's a
He
weight been lifted off his shoulders.
lifted off his belly, but
And back.
yeah, and back, yes. But Danny, I'm gonna
Back
switch to
shots.
you for this next question. The Sixers started 4-0. They're 1-3 since. What exactly do you see as the difference between those first 4 games and these last 4 games for Philly?
I think is to be honest that they're losing close games now. Um, they, that's really the difference to me. They
Well,
came
let's
back and won.
go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad.
I was going to say they came back and won one of the games early against the Celtics, and they blew a lead against the Bulls. And then vice versa, they had a lead against the Celtics, or they had an opportunity to come back and hit a game-winning shot against the Celtics. They had the lead, they blew the game, and then they just got an awful shot off. I'm not really worried about the 1-3 since 4-0. I think it's kind of them coming back to who they are. I think they'll win somewhere in the mid 40s to early 50s in games with Maxey and Embiid at the helm. I think Embiid getting 25 to 30 minutes a game right now is going to be best for his, like, if he's going to be around in the playoffs. So I love what they're doing. If you can get a healthy Sixers team in the playoffs with Paul George healthy, whatever that might look like, McCain getting healthy, I think if you get everyone healthy in the playoffs, this team could actually make some noise.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, and again, this was just McCain's first game back, so I don't want to take too much
No.
from it. But the Bulls game, it almost looked like there was too many mouths to feed. McCain's one of
Yeah.
those dudes where he's amazing off ball. Don't get me wrong. But it took him a while to get into his rhythm if he even got in it at all. Embiid had a decent first half. Maxey was obviously amazing. Sorry.
Paul George and McCain for Tamani Kamara.
Yeah, the Blazers fart and hang up on the phone. Give up the obsession of trading Paul George. It is not going to happen. Not only that, it's because y'all need Paul George now. Y'all need someone from the wing spot who can create buckets. And I'm going to assume at
That's
this rate
not
a healthy
Trendon
Paul
Watford.
George. Yeah, that's not Trendon Wofford or Kelly Oubre Jr. or Quentin Grimes.
I have good news coming for y'all soon, though, Danny. By game 60, it'll be a 3-guard lineup of Maxey, Edgecombe, Grimes probably, and then McCain coming off, and then Edgecombe will be your wing creator. So that'll be good for that. It'll be tough in the beginning when they figure it out, but Edgecombe is your playmaking 3-ish. That'll be a W for Sixers.
I don't know if you guys got this vibe. Did McCain kind of look slow and chunky?
First game back, and it's a lower a leg injury. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take. I wouldn't even evaluate him until about 3 weeks. Like give him 3 weeks.
No, I'm saying. Do you think he put weight on?
He looks bulkier. Yeah, for sure.
He looked bulkier. I'm saying, yeah.
Especially up top, which probably is gonna be helping with shooting on the move. That's my thought. That's probably why he got bulky. I said the same thing though. I was like, he looks a little slower. He look bigger as well too, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you guys. Yeah, and a lot of these games, it's like they'll find themselves down double digits. Like they came back against the Wizards, went down double digits, but the Wizards are a team you can do that against. The Bulls should not be a team that is coming back and striking you. But the Bulls are, I believe, undefeated. So
6-1.
Maybe they're like that. I don't know. But they're playing good team ball. Vucevic has, I don't think he's been on Bulls fans' bad side for about, a season now. They're rocking with him. Because one, I don't think anyone's going to trade for him at this rate. And two, you know what? He's damn good. So he's good on the offensive end. Giddey's starting to put it together. Modest Buzelis has been inconsistent to start the year, but bright spots. You're only going to get better when Ayo DeSumo is fully back in the lineup. Kobe White. I really, really do miss Zach LaVine playing for that team. I really do miss Debo playing for that team, but I think it was very necessary that they had to go. More so Zach LaVine. When Zach LaVine's on a heater, man, I mean, he's as fun to watch as anybody. So smooth, can score at all three levels. But this is new era of Chicago basketball. It's ran by white people.
And it's the Chicago Kings too, so you can go watch the old Bulls if you turn on the Kings game. And they have
it's
Russ.
the same exact thing. And even added Russell Westbrook, a very Chicago Bulls move. So, yeah. Anything else we want to talk about NBA wise? I mean, we're starting to realize some teams are not built for it very fast. Chris, what did you want to say?
There's one thing I want to say about the Spurs, and it's a good problem to have, but it's a problem to have, and I think it will help. If young Dill, which I told y'all, Dylan would be NBA ready quick. If Dylan is ready, and Stephon Castle is, I know Stephon Castle is ready. Do you, instead of re-signing Fox and giving him a bigger extension when it's about time, in about 2 years, do you look, I said this in our group chat, do you look to get Wemby and Castle a wing? Because I think Harrison Barnes is perfectly fine. I think you still need him. But with Keldon, Vassell, Fox, you have a lot of contracts, a lot of talent that you can maybe package to see whatever disgruntled wing or forward becomes available. I said Jaylen Brown or Jalen Johnson in our group chat just because those are the archetypes. Like it's types, not the player, just that type of build. If that guy was to become available, I think the Spurs have the assets to go get that. And I think that would be a dynasty-making move, kind of like it's smaller scale, but I think the Thunder getting Hartenstein was a dynasty-making move because then that is insurance for Chet, also gives you ability to play too big, blah, blah, it gives you a lot of versatility. I think the Spurs have a move like that, but on a bigger scale, even bigger scale, with Fox and Vassell and Keldon and Sohan, so much not unused talent, but like talent that has been tapped into yet and good contracts. I think that's something to watch for, even if it's not this year at some point, especially if the Spurs are ahead of schedule at a crazy point. That'd be something to watch for me. That's something I'm looking out for. Like what wing becomes available-ish for the Spurs.
I absolutely hear you. Jalen Johnson could be a weird one, right? Because Atlanta, if things flame out this year, Trae Young could be out the door, and then they just want to build around Jalen Johnson. I think Jalen Johnson could be a very valuable, a viable franchise player. So that would be a hard guy to pry. Jaylen Brown, it'd be a lot of money.
Or even remember how Siakam got acquired by the Pacers? That randomly happened. They got Siakam and then they just made the finals 2 years after. Something like that. It doesn't even have to be a young guy. Just a something to where it's that piece. Like I said, Hardenstein.
Need some championship DNA. They absolutely need some championship DNA.
They need the it factor, like Bo Nix.
No.
Siakam has the it factor.
That is true.
Siakam very well has, championship pedigree. And now I'm not talking okay, OG Anunoby was on that team, but I'm not giving OG championship pedigree.
I will not.
How big of a role did he play in that? Van Vliet, pedigree, Lowry, Kawhi, obviously. Pascal Siakam, Serge Ibaka, Marc Gasol. Those are all championship pedigree guys.
And Anunoby, I will not.
So it's Jaylen. If they get Jaylen Brown was the Finals MVP. He was the second best player on that team. He's absolutely championship pedigree, and that would help them a lot. He'd have to change that play style a little bit though. But you'd also have to keep that hairspray away from my glorious King Wemby.
I promise you, if it gets on Wemby's sleeve, I'm shipping Jaylen Brown out myself.
Honestly, I think he should keep doing it. I think that this should be the bid of the year.
Only do it to bad teams though. We play the Wizards, Hornets. When you would suit up against
them, he did it to the Knicks. OG was the first victim.
He did it to the Wizards. He did it to Kaishan George. He was Yeah, him. He's next.
I
You're
think
next.
that
Yo,
it should literally be a bit. I think.
Miles Bridges, you're next.
And honestly,
Yeah.
teams, if you're wearing white, be aware.
Because
Be
he
aware.
will
You
get
don't want to get all
Brown.
handsy with Jaylen Brown because he's going to rub his hairline off on you.
Oh, you know who's the victim today? Because they're playing the Magic. It will be Jalen Suggs. Watch what I say. Jalen Suggs want to play all that hard defense. It's gonna be.
It'd be hilarious if you got it on Paolo though, because Paolo's first thing is going to be look to JT.
100%. He's gonna curse really loud.
Yeah, there was because Stephon Castle loves wearing the JTs, and someone was like, Castle's giving Flag a run for his money on biggest Tatum fanboy in the league, and I was like, I think y'all forgot Paolo exists. Paolo is the biggest JT fanboy. He was wearing JT's player editions before he even got a signature shoe. I mean, prototypical to Duke Blue Devils, my guys. Anything else you want to talk NBA?
In 2 years from now, we can be like the he's only 17 jokes, or he's only 19 jokes. Or 10 years ago.
Those jokes have always been dumb. Not gonna
I know.
hold you.
The thing about 10 years ago is when
That's
he was
crazy.
19.
He'll be a 10-year vet. But you know what would be really crazy? When Jason Tatum and Paolo start together on Team USA.
We'll be
Trae
fired.
Young.
But low key, Tatum could be petty and be like, "I will never play for this Olympic team again." But I think
if the coach, it's Spo now. I think he plays for Spo.
Oh yeah, he'll play for Spo. Obviously, they have their history.
Bam, I ask him. He'd be like, "Please, Jason." Ooh, Bam, Tatum, Paolo starting.
He'd be like, "Please, Tatum, I need this."
And then when Brandon
Team
Miller
USA team is kind of starless.
What
We're trying to win a gold. I want to help them out.
Point guard Zion for USA?
No,
Zion
absolutely not. We are not running Zion at the one.
I will be there.
No, I will pull out 41-year-old Drew Holiday.
Unfortunately, it's going to be Halliburton
if we have to.
Not unfortunately, it's going to be Halliburton, Anthony Edwards, Tatum, Paolo, Bam, or Chet, something like that. That's going to be starting five. Remember I said it, y'all.
We'll find out. But let's get into these mid-season awards. We can start with most valuable player, of course. Danny, let's hear your mid-season as of week 9, as of Friday, November 7th, MVP.
Yeah, through this part of the season, you could look around the entire league and say, this player has the best stats, this player has the most wins, this player's played the most dominant football. But to me, the player who's elevated their team the most and is most important to their team is Drake May. I think Drake May is the MVP for me. The level of play that he's been at the last 7 weeks is unreal. I don't even think I could have seen him breaking out this way. And I'm the president of Drake May FC. I think you could look at Drake May. If you look at the MVP odds, right? It's Drake May, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen sitting in top 3. And I think we'll slowly start to see Lamar Jackson creep back up, but he won't have the stats to qualify to being how long he was out. I don't think he'll be able to, unless he puts up like 4,000 yards in 12 games. That's an MVP to me. But through this part of the season, I think Drake May is my MVP.
I'm not mad at the Drake May take it all, for sure. You go with, you have to factor in second-year breakout narrative obviously plays a part in this. I have a better question. Why is Josh Allen in the top 3 MVP?
He's the betting odds favorite.
I don't care about the betting odds. Why would he be in your top 3?
Oh, he's not my top 3. I'm just saying, I was saying betting odds.
We don't care about the betting odds.
Oh, Sam Darnold's in my top 3.
Okay, so your top 3 would be May, Mahomes, and Darnold.
In that order.
Okay. I don't know why I thought I misheard. I thought you were saying that Allen was in your top 3.
No.
And I was like, I'm not typically the one that craps on Josh Allen. But I was like, this ain't the Heisman now. So It's kind of worse than the Heisman, actually. I don't know why I said that. But I'm thinking like head-to-head wins, that usually matters when doing the Heisman voting. Not mad at Drake May, of course. Chris, usually around this time of year, Lamar Jackson could be a layup pick for you. But homeboy just got back. So who would be your MVP as of today?
And I'm still picking him. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. If I could pick, I would just pick the Broncos defensive line because 48 sacks to the next 28. That is legitimately the reason why they're winning because their defense. I would pick the whole Broncos defensive line if I could, but I cannot. So for that reason, I'm picking Jonathan Taylor. I know running backs don't win the award. I do know that, but I think Jonathan Taylor is 100% the most valuable player in the NFL so far this year. The reason I say that is because not just the 3 touchdown games, not just that. I think it's opened up and gave more freedom to Daniel Jones in the sense of you have a fallback plan. He's able to take some chances, even if it's not 40-yard passes down the field. He's able to take chances with his arm because if it gets to a close game or we have the lead, we can just pound the rock with Jonathan Taylor. And I think he's just been so consistent and he's been scoring a lot of points. For me, I think he's been the most valuable because he's opened up so much more for their offense to where it makes Daniel Jones seem like a viable option at quarterback, which, I mean, he has looked like for 80% of the games they have. But even in the games he didn't look great that they won, Jonathan Taylor was the main constant. So for me, I got Jonathan Taylor as my MVP. I personally would have Patrick Mahomes as a runner-up because I don't think this team is that. I say talented. I know they're all good players, but I think Chris Jones took a step back. A lot of their players who we're looking forward to haven't necessarily been as great, but I think Mahomes has been pretty good. So I would have Mahomes my runner-up like Danny did, but I would give MVP to Jonathan Taylor. And Drake May would be nice.
You know what I don't get? How people think Daniel Jones should win MVP before Jonathan Taylor. There's legit people who believe that. I know.
Quarterback thing and the weird obsession with tall white quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think the Steelers put the blueprint on how to beat the Colts on film.
I don't think so. I'm not taking because either way they started to climb back in the fourth quarter. So, you know, they did make that a football game.
Yeah,
they did make that a football games. I take it with a grain of salt. Every team has their bad weeks. I don't think there's a blueprint for stopping Jonathan Taylor. If there was, we'd have found it out a long time ago. He's the thing that makes the engine run. So, and their defense has only gotten better. Defense makes offense better. So,
well, they have Sauce Gardner. So,
yeah, it doesn't get a lot better than that at that corner position. I saw it was like a like corners when guarding the other team's number one, like their completion percentage allowed when targeted. Like third place was like at 49%, which is decent. Pat Surtain and Sauce Gardner were the top two. They were at like 37 and 39%. They're so above and beyond every other corner in the NFL. Like, of course, Surtain won the DPOY, so you know his name's going to pop up a lot. But Sauce hasn't, and that's because his team sucks. But it's how a corner should be. You shouldn't be talked about. They're like a good referee. You know, no one talks about good referees. You only talk about Zach Zarba and Tony Brothers.
Hey, I like Zach. I thought Zach was good.
There was this in 2022, the Milwaukee series. Zach Zarba was just being mad weird. He just was not giving Tatum any calls, and Wesley Matthews was like all up on him, like playing as physical as. And I was like, all right, Wesley Matthews, very respectable NBA player. You've had a great career as a role player. There's no way you have the defensive resume to be getting away with what you're doing. You are not Lou Dort.
They're just letting them Dort him.
But I guess since then, I don't really have issues with him. I've kind of grown not to hate any official besides Tony Brothers. Because he just don't make good calls for nobody. Like, it's not even a Celtics thing. But
yeah.
Let me get to my MVP so that we can move on.
Your MVP?
Yeah, my MVP is going to be Patrick Mahomes. I'm sticking with my preseason guns. I think he's backed it up very nicely. Doesn't help that he just lost the head-to-head to Josh Allen because that's how, voters kind of look at this thing. But I brought some, who would I be without EPA per play and pass rush win rate? Mahomes, his numbers in particular, he's 8th in EPA plus completion percentage over expected. He's 4th in QBR this year, 3rd in yards, 5th in adjusted EPA, which is basically like, throwaways, spikes, things like that, tipped passes, whatever. The Chiefs' offense in general, they're 4th in EPA and success rate. They're 5th in dropback EPA and 3rd in dropback success rate. That's basically his side of the things. That's basically him and his receivers. But they're only 15th in success rate, rush success rate. So while the run game is better than it's been in years past, a lot of it is credit to Mahomes and Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, even Travis Kelce at this rate, who is leading all tight ends in yards, believe it or not. So I still have him number 1. I didn't get to look at where he ranks on total touchdowns amongst quarterbacks. I believe he is top 2 or 3, alongside Allen, Hurts, those guys. And he's been getting it done on the ground as well. So, yeah, my pick is going to be Patrick Mahomes. It might be a little hard. I don't know if the Chiefs are going to get the necessary wins. If they can finish with like 11 or 12 wins, they could do it, but that's going to require they go on a real hot streak, which of course they're capable of. They're Kansas City. So I'm going to fall back on Patrick Mahomes. I would probably say my ballot right now would look pretty similar to what your guys' was. I would probably have Mahomes. I'd probably have, Drake May 2nd. Taylor might be 3rd, and I probably have like Darnold and Hurts rounding out my top 5.
Yeah, I like Hurts.
Sam Darnold. He's tough.
I like Hurts as an honorable mention. I would love to see some of the counting stats increase over the next 3 or 4 weeks, and I'd be fine putting him in top 2.
Well, he's getting up there for sure. And if you look at all the advanced metrics this year, he is up there as much as anybody else. Everybody loves EPA per play until it's time for Jalen Hurts to put up a good EPA per play. The deep ball is, he overthrew Devontae Smith on Thursday Night Football, and you'd swear it was off this year, but it's really not. He's one of the top quarterbacks in deep throw percentage and deep throw accuracy. The only person who surpasses him in deep throw accuracy this year has been Drake May. He just doesn't import it as much as Jalen does.
Far and away, like the best deep ball passer in the NFL this year. Like it's incredible how Drake May. It's
I don't know if it's far and away, because Jalen has a higher deep throw percentage, but he's not that far behind on deep throw completion percentage. So, maybe a larger sample size for Drake May would do it, but otherwise, I'd say those two though. It's not like a, if you have Drake May, that's fine. If you have Hurts, I think it's fine. I just don't think it's a foregone conclusion. But they've both been hooping.
We hooping.
Especially the last 4 weeks. I believe the last 4 weeks, Jalen Hurts leads the NFL in a lot of top categories. So it sucked that he was not garbage, but his offensive coordinator was holding him back a little bit. But they're starting to get it together. Let's move on to the Offensive Player of the Year award, which I guess will be very interesting on Chris's behalf because he picked a position player. He picked a skill player to win his MVP. So I'm interested to see who you would have filling in for your Offensive Player of the Year spot through 9 weeks.
Yeah, that was a tough one for me because honestly, I wanted to. I mean, obviously, have JT at OPOY, but I just think he's just been the most valuable player, so that's why I had him there. I mean, I think Offensive Player of the Year. I thought about it, and I think I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor again. Because I doubt he wins MVP. So I think he's probably going to win Offensive Player of the Year. But if I didn't have that, I probably was going to pick Bijan Robinson. Only because I think his stats are going to only go up with the receivers being as injured as they are over there, with London, kind of being in and out, and Mooney being in and out. I think he just gets a lot more reps. So I think he can have crazy numbers by the end of the year, especially if they lean on him as much as I think they should coming up. So I would pick Bijan for that. I know it's definitely a long shot, but I know Offensive Player doesn't really go about records, so more so just the counting stats. So I think if they lean into him like I think they should, I think he can win it. So that's why I picked. It would have been Jonathan Taylor, but I picked him for MVP.
Not mad at it. Not mad at Bijan for sure. I mean, record goes into everything, I guess, these days, because they try to turn everything into a value thing and a winning thing. So we'll see how the cards play out for the Falcons and Bijan, but Bijan's certainly been their MVP, him or Drake London, through these first 9 weeks. Absolutely. Danny, you want me to go first on Offensive Player of the Year, or did you want to take the reins?
Go for it.
Yeah. So my pick, my Offensive Player of the Year through 9 weeks has been Jackson Smith and Jigba. It would not easily, but I would have had Puka Nacua here if he was healthy. But Jackson Smith has, he stayed healthy and he stayed the course on his stats. He's on pace to break the single season receiving record. I obviously don't expect that to hold up, but he'll finish with one of the great receiving yard seasons of all time. He's first in yards, obviously, 9th in yards per catch, and he's 5th in receptions right now. So he's not only is he racking in a ton of catches, but they're big yards. It's big chunk plays. He's done an excellent job in this new offense that's really using, capitalizing with his talents with offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak, and you obviously have McDonald at head coach. They're really thriving. I think things can only get better with adding Rashid Shaheed, with taking the top off the defense. You can't really shadow a JSM with a safety anymore. Not that was the greatest idea in the first place with Cooper Kupp and what they have going on offense. So my Offensive Player of the Year will be Jackson Smith and Jigba, and I expect him, to stay the course. Like Danny said, Sam Darnold's having a great year, so if he's having a great year, JSN's having a great year because they're having some of the highest dosage of buddy ball in the league.
Yeah, honestly, it's more than buddy ball, and that's why he's
It's brother ball.
He's also my Offensive Player of the Year, and it sticks because, look, he's had 100 yards in every game except for 2. One game was the New Orleans game where they were up 28-0 early, and he still had 96 yards. And then the Arizona game where he had 4 catches for 79 yards, which dated back to the end of September. He's had 100 yards every single week. And you could say, oh, insanity run. It's not an insanity run. He is busting every corner open.
Yeah. And it's been like that since last year. It was very evident what he was going to do when giving the wide receiver one spotlight. So
it was evident in the Rose Bowl.
Well, if the Rose Bowl told us anything, it'll tell us he's going to be the GOAT. So, yeah. Yeah, absolutely agree. I mean, he's my Offensive Player of the Year. He's yours. That didn't really take us too long. Do we have any other, dark horses who we can sneak in the conversation? Show love to maybe a Christian McCaffrey who's, top 10 in both receiving yards and rushing yards. Pretty much is his offense at the moment, even if his run game isn't as explosive as it once was.
Is there a world where Jamar Chase gets back into this race?
I mean,
he'll get back in this race once Burrow gets back in this race because they need wins. And
true that.
While Burrow's stats are replicable, his winning is not. Even if last year only resulted in 9-8, I don't think that was a full reflection of what his capabilities are. I think another guy that could get into some Offensive Player of the Year talks. I mean, Justin Jefferson's always a threat, but he is QB proof, and I'm standing on that. But it's just taking a little bit longer with JJ because he's in and out of the lineup. So, but he is of course always a threat to win that award. Long shot probably won't happen. But just wanted to give flowers to Devontae Smith, who's having a career year so far. Maybe he would get that. Maybe he could get in the talk if his wide receiver 2 would fall back. But I'm just kidding.
AJ Brown to the Ravens for DeAndre Hopkins, bro, we'd be straight. Then Devontae Smith.
Yeah, AJ Brown going to turn into Eagles Julio so fast.
Chris, I don't understand. I think you don't understand. You guys would have to send Nate Wiggins and a first-round pick for AJ Brown.
You don't understand. We're not doing anything because all we did was get Draymond Jones. So we're not sending anything. If it costs more than a 5th-round pick, we just won't have it. We just
that's
won't
cool because you know what we're gonna do. We're gonna ask for Snoop Huntley back. It's gonna destroy the team chemistry that you traded him again. and your team's gonna fall apart.
Oh, if y'all ask for Snoop Huntley back, Lamar goes too, and the restaurant. The restaurant, Snoop,
We
Lamar,
could use
everybody
a backup quarterback. Well,
And then
we don't
if-
need one, but
yeah, that'd be Jalen Hurts moving to fullback, and then you will have
yeah,
Lamar.
okay. We're putting Lamar at receiver.
Yo,
We're
Mark
putting
Andrews
Lamar
to
at
the
gadget
Eagles.
guy. We're turning him into
No,
D'Anthony Thomas.
No, now we're talking. Lamar in the slot, Jalen at halfback, Snoop at quarterback. All you do is run quarterback passes. I mean, wide receiver back
Boy, what are we, Navy?
Yes.
We run a triple option.
Yes.
We're cooking. Let's
Mark
move
Andrews to the Eagles.
Imagine. Let's move to the defensive player of the year, which could be a very interesting conversation. I mean, just last night we watched Nick Bonito tear it up once again. So he's, of course, a very viable option. TJ Watt is coming off a big game, even though he hasn't been having his best season. TJ is always going to be in those conversations because he racks up the sack numbers. Myles Garrett, a Texas A&M legend, he's obviously been killing it. Danny, let's start with you on this one. Who would you have for defensive player of the year?
Yeah, my defensive player of the year is still Micah Parsons.
That's of course a very viable pick.
My preseason pick came in, made an immediate impact to Packers defense. And to be quite easily said, they say every team has been, I need to get the ball out in 2 seconds. And you saw Aaron Rodgers when they played the Packers. He, like, legitimately, he didn't look scared, but, like, he was just aware that he needed to get the ball out in 2.5 seconds or he was going to die. And that's why Micah Parsons is my MVP. Like, or not defensive player of the year, not MVP. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid pick. He was my preseason pick as well. Yeah, for mine, I did switch up. I am not loyal. I did switch to Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett this season, 2nd in sacks, 4th in pass rush win rate, 8th in run stop win rate. Sorry, I cannot read my own handwriting. But yeah, 2nd in sacks, 4th in pass rush win rate, and then 8th in run stop win rate. Micah Parsons is obviously in familiar territory with all of those. But Myles Garrett has continued to be a true game wrecker. 5 sacks against the Patriots was absolutely huge, even though they were getting smoked. But defensive player of the year, I don't want it to turn into like a most valuable defensive player. I think that's corny. Not that that's what Micah Parsons is. Micah Parsons could win this award outright. Nick Bonito can win this award outright. But I think Myles Garrett has been the best defender on the planet so far. Just a complete one-man wrecking crew. The pass rush in Cleveland is good, but it's one or the other. I think the run stop is good in Cleveland just as a whole, but pass rush wise, he is absolutely carrying their numbers. They're atrocious outside of him, so kudos to him going out and keep balling, even with an offense that's not necessarily helping you out all too much for now. Until someone is inserted into the lineup. But anyway, Chris, let's move to you. Who did you have for your defensive player of the year? I believe before the season, I think you had Kyle Hamilton as your pick.
Well, that is not going.
Wait, actually, that would be me.
Yeah, no. Yes, you had Micah Parsons. Danny had Kyle Hamilton before.
Oh, shout out Demon Kyle Hamilton still my boy. But I'm gonna have to go with the person I had the pleasure of meeting a couple years ago. And in person, he is Megatron still. I'm going Myles Garrett too. I know the Browns literally are Browns, if you get what I mean. But Myles Garrett is just the best defensive player on the planet, in my opinion. Currently, he's just the best. Like he had 5 sacks and lost by 23. It's just some things you can't put on the guy. You can't just put on one person. So I think Myles Garrett is the most dominant defender in NFL right now. And I think I know Tone said records matter, and if records do matter, he's not going to get it. But I think he's just the best defensive player on the planet right now. So I'm going Myles Garrett.
What they going to do when he has 20 sacks and he's also one of the league's best run defenders?
And
at
the
some
Browns are
point.
2-15.
Have they considered Aura? Just
Well,
for a moment. He's the only
I'm
person
happy
to give that cruddy uniform Aura.
Yeah, it's one person. It
One
was
of
him.
two.
Johnny Manziel gave it. I'm gonna say Johnny gave it some
Johnny
aura.
Manziel looked like a kid in a Halloween costume. I'm not gonna hold you.
He gave it a little aura. The brown one, not the white. The white's garbage, but the brown.
I was gonna say Shador gives it a little bit of aura with that 12.
Have we ever seen him in
it? In preseason, he looked good. He looked decent, except the Rams game. But yeah. So Danny still has Michael Parsons. Me and Chris have Myles Garrett. Don't think you can really go wrong with either. But
playing quarterback against the Rams.
Quick and easy. But let's move on to the coach of the year, which I think there's a lot of good candidates for this one. I mean, you have Shane Steichen, you have Mike McDonald, you have Liam Cohen. Even though the Jaguars took a little bit of a skid, he's very much in the race. He was my preseason pick. You have Sean McDermott, who's always going to be in the race. He'll never get his love properly. Maybe he shouldn't. I don't know. But Nick Sirianni's team is 6-2. Dan Campbell's in the mix as always, losing two coordinators, and they haven't lost a beat. Kyle Shanahan very much in this race. But I guess I can start with mine. My coach of the year, I was really, really in between this guy and Kyle Shanahan, but I ended up going with Colts head coach Shane Steichen. They're second in offensive yards per game, third in passing yards per game, eighth in rush yards per game, and of course, they're the number one scoring offense, and they're the best record in the AFC as it currently stands. So to do that when this year was supposed to be a complete wash year, maybe supposed to be an Anthony Richardson develop year, then it turned into, nope, Daniel Jones won the starting job. So now everyone's like, okay, now they're really not going to be good. And then he turned Daniel Jones into a very viable NFL quarterback, and he's getting the most out of his receiving crew. We'll have to see the defense maybe take a little bit of a turn a little bit of a corner for this back half of the year. Obviously, adding Sauce Gardner, he's going to be a huge help. So he's going to be my pick. But I mean, Kyle Shanahan was just right there. The job he's doing with that battered Niners crew. He's working with Mac Jones. He's working with third string receivers. Defense is banged up. He's on third and fourth defensive lineman. Michael Williams just tore his ACL. So he's absolutely balling on a budget right now. I mean, look, he might never get that Super Bowl, but I think Kyle Shanahan is absolutely a Hall of Fame head coach. He's balling right now. Those would be my two picks.
I love that. And out of all those coaches that you mentioned, you didn't mention my coach of the year. My coach of the year is none other than Mike Vrabel.
Yes, Vrabel was like literally the first picture in my mind, but I dodged a Cohen for whatever reason.
Mike Vrabel has been nothing short of perfect for the Patriots, and outside of two early hiccups to the Raiders and the Steelers, this team has played almost flawless football. And look, the Raiders game was week 1, and then the Steelers game, they turned the ball over 5 times. You're not going to win a football game turning the ball over 5 or 6 times. It's just how it is. If you do good job. But the reality is the Patriots are now 7-2 and have the easiest strength of schedule remaining in the NFL. And not only that, they have a big game against the Bucs this weekend. So I'm really excited to see what Mike Vrabel can do. I think if you take a team that had a top 5 overall pick to winning a playoff game, or maybe even having home field for a playoff game at this point, to me, that's coach of the year. But then again, last year, was it Dan Quinn didn't win coach of the year?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, Mike Vrabel's a great pick. I do have a question though. He can't win coach of the year and may win MVP.
You can't? You don't think so?
No, absolutely not. No. Which one is it? Do you have the best player in football or do you have the best coach in football? It's usually not both.
Belichick and Brady's part 2.
Let me search that real quick. Let me see how many times a coach how many times has the MVP and coach of the year been on the same team. They should also do a coordinator of the year. Locate. Okay. So what in the world? Okay. NFL. Let me specify. I don't know why I typed in the coach of the year abbreviation and it thought it meant city. So this has happened 10 times. Last one being in 2018, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Times have changed for these awards. 2015, Cam Newton, Ron Rivera. 2011, Aaron Rodgers, Mike McCarthy. Aaron Rodgers, go give that MVP back to Drew Brees. Appreciate it. 07, it had to be Brady and Belichick. 99, Kurt Warner and Dick Vermeil. Kind of had to be that. 93, Emmitt Smith, Jimmy Johnson. 85, Marcus Allen, Mike Ditka. 68, Earl Morrall, Don Shula. 66, Bart Starr, Vince Lombardi. 57, Jim Brown, Paul Brown. So it's not that common. And I think the two would have to have like overwhelmingly, like the MVP would have to be overwhelming to do it. Like look at it, like Patrick Mahomes 2018, that's a 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yard season. Cam Newton, one of the greatest quarterback seasons we have ever seen, especially when you consider the dual threat possibility. Aaron Rodgers 2011, he threw like 1 million touchdowns and like 2 picks. That was ridiculous. Tom Brady, the first 50 touchdown season of all time. Kurt Warner, greatest show on turf. Emmitt Smith, best running back in the game at that point.
You know what I'm seeing though? There's a trend. If they do both win it, they're going to the Super Bowl.
Mahomes didn't go to the Super Bowl. Rodgers didn't go to the Super Bowl.
Wait, Rodgers won the Super Bowl that year, no?
No, he didn't. I don't think so. Yeah, that was the next year. They won the Super Bowl next year. This is 2011-2012 season. They got bounced at home in the divisional round by Eli Manning. So, but you have a good shot, Bart Starr. No, I'm so sorry. This is why you don't trust the AI overview. 85, that's not Marcus Allen. That's Walter Payton for sure. I don't know why this thing says Marcus Allen. That is so weird. And this is why you don't trust water-sucking robots. But anyway, sorry for that whole spiel. Chris, who is your coach of the year? And why is it your man, John Harbaugh?
It's funny because John Harbaugh will be replaced by Brian Flores if I got anything to do about it. Talk soon. But the coach of the year, in my opinion, should be Mike Vrabel. Just because I think the Patriots, either I'm just the only casual in the world. I just didn't see the Patriots being this good right now. I thought they were a year or two away, a couple more playmakers away, but baby father Diggs is playing really good recently. So that's been helpful. Drake May brought a little Con Knipple to the Hornets as Drake May needed to bring Stephon Diggs. That makes a lot of sense if you really think about it, and that's all I'm going to say about it. Mike Vrabel, I think he's a coach of the year. I think this team's been overperforming, but I think their quarterback is showing he can be and is on his way to being one of the elites in the league. So I think that's been helpful, but I think Mike Vrabel's been the whole reason why the culture shift and just how hard they all play every game. I think they're all locked in. I think they have their, all the mantras, the one goal in mind, one band. You could just tell that that's a part of their team. I think that's directly correlated to the coach. So I give Mike Vrabel my coach of the year.
That makes 1,000% sense. What you said about Khan and Drake May. Yes.
Do you see how the Hornets are moving?
Yes. And Khan, I haven't checked back in on him in a couple games, but he was on a heater to start the year.
They snuck Pat Connaughton over there somehow, some way. Don't remember that happening, but I remember Con Knipple swung it to another white guy who looked just
Why are they gentrifying my Charlotte Hornets?
It happened to be Pat Connaughton. Connaughton shooting 42% from three. Thank you. We'll take it. We'll take it.
That is insane. The Hornets' first NBA team to be gentrified. Yeah, I mean, like, LaMelo Ball, like, halfway there anyway. You got Kalkbringer, who's been awesome. Knipple, Trey Mann's halfway there. Liam McNeely riding the bench, man. Pat Connaughton, Mason Plumlee, Drew Peterson. I did not know Drew Peterson found his way over there.
Snuck on the team.
Literally, they'd just be sneaking on the team, and Grant Williams is still sucking up contract money while he's hurt.
I'm tired of him. I'm tired.
But yes, let's go to offensive rookie of the year, which I don't think we'll have too many disagreements on. I have a Emeka Egbuka, who amongst rookies he is first in yards, first in touchdowns, first in yards per game, and he's leading. He is a lead over Tedero McMillan, and McMillan's played one more game.
Yeah,
so
I think I would pick Egbuka too, but I think Jinxie's gonna pick it up a little bit as the season goes on. Less Gino, 100% less Pickett if he's out there, and think more Jinxie. So I think he can pick it up, but I think Egbuka's gonna win it. I think he should win it.
I got Egbuka as well, but you guys aren't gonna. I don't know if you guys feel about this. Tyler Warren should get real consideration.
He was really good through the first, I would say, 5 or 6 weeks of the season. It's kind of been leveling season the last 2, but yeah, that's a fine pick, I believe. And no one really even considered like how much better he would look as a true tight end when he doesn't have to run the ball and play quarterback for Penn State. So yeah, he's looked really good. He looks more fresh, I would say. I think that's a decent like runner-up pick. You know what's something weird though with the Raiders at the very least? I know they find themselves down in a lot of games, but there is just no reason for the lack of carries that Ashton Jeanty gets. I don't care if he's only averaging 3.5 yards per carry. He's the type of guy that can just make one pop. Sometimes all you have to do is break a tackle with the line of scrimmage and he can go. So, yeah, like you said, Chris, I mean, hopefully they can realize this is a wash season at some point and just get him some carries. You know, not too much to where you burn him out, but, you know, at least enough to, like, let him get his feet under him. It's ridiculous. Do we just want to move to Defensive Rookie of the Year and then get to our game picks?
Let's do it.
Defensive Rookie of the Year, my pick. And maybe it's a homer pick. It's my only homer pick of the thing. So, you know, not so much.
It's not a homer pick.
Jahad Campbell. I mean, we have 45 tackles on the year, 1 forced fumble, 1 INT. The only other person who's really in this conversation, or at least to use Danny terms, the betting odds favorite right now is Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter has 1 sack, and that's like his thing. And he is doing a good job in the run game, so I don't want to get on him too much. And he's a very viable pick for this award. But Jahad has been a day 1 starter. He is playing alongside Zach Baun. Maybe that does help a little bit, but Zach Baun can't help him in coverage. You got to go out there and do your thing. So, of course, he gets to play with. He has the luxury of, you know, Brian Burns, who's all the way back, Dexter Lawrence. So maybe it doesn't help with the secondary being so weak, but you know, I have Jahad Campbell. I'm gonna go with my guy for this pick.
Yeah, it's also my pick. I think he's been really pivotal in the Eagles' pass game coverage, and he's played that kind of like Micah Parsons role. I know people didn't want to compare him to Micah Parsons, but like the Eagles have used him like the Cowboys used Micah Parsons early on, off the edge, playing middle linebacker, in coverage, whatever you want to do, he can do. So I love that.
Yeah, I won't waste much time. Yep, Jahad Campbell. It's almost like when you put an elite athlete and let him do elite athletic things, he does it. So I'm down.
He's what they thought Isaiah Campbell was.
He's what Isaiah Simmons. I was just about to say.
I don't know if I said
no. Okay. Isaiah Simmons was a concept.
And that I
don't know if anyone can actually do what he can. Like the closest we'll get is Kyle Hamilton.
I was bought into Isaiah Simmons. I thought he was going to be the next guy. He tricked me. Or maybe just drafted.
He was too good at a bunch of different things for his own good because he wasn't great at anything. Yeah, that's a shame. I thought he was the best player in the draft. I had him over Chase Young. Had him over Joe Burrow. I was fascinated, but landed in the wrong hands. A team that tried to get him going on every cylinder too early instead of just picking out what he wanted to be good at.
Don't worry, he's a Raven next year because he's been posting free agent tape. So I just know what that means.
It's so sad he's a free agent. That's ridiculous. But let's get to our game picks, guys. Give me one moment here. Okay. Falcons at Colts. I have the Colts.
Colts.
Yeah, I got Colts too.
Giants at Bears. Give me the Bears.
Unfortunately, Bears, yes.
Bears.
Bills at Dolphins. I have Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Bills.
Ravens at Vikings. I have Baltimore.
Yes, I have Ravens too.
I have the Ravens in a close game.
I think it's 2023 too. Same. I think it's close.
I have this one is going to be the game of the week right here. Browns at Jets.
I have the
I have the
Jets.
Browns.
Wait a second now. Remember I asked this question last week and everybody laughed at me.
Fields is playing.
Fields Jets.
Fields is starting, I believe.
Jets. What? Wait, is Shadura playing?
Shador not playing. That I
Then
know.
I was gonna say a tie, but I'll take Justin Fields to the Jets.
A tie. Shador versus Fields, man. That would be the Chris Bowl.
Bro, if it ended in a tie, it would be 3-3. And then I lose all my happiness because both my.
We lost Danny for a second, but I assume he'll be back in a moment.
I think he said his audio still here.
Yeah, his audio's still here, so we can still get his picks. There he is. Chris, you said you did have the Jets, right?
Yep.
Okay. Patriots at Buccaneers. I have the Patriots. Danny is the Patriots. Or Danny, did you have Patriots or Bucks?
I have the Patriots.
Okay. I have the Bucks.
Okay. Saints at Panthers. Me and Danny had the Panthers.
Damn, no Spencer Rattler. Panthers.
It's so easy to pick against the Saints when he's not playing. So, Jaguars at Texans. I have the Jags in this one.
Yeah, I have the Jaguars too. I don't think CJ Stroud's not playing, right?
Yeah.
He has concussion.
He's out.
GG's.
Cardinals at Seahawks. I have Seattle.
Jacoby Brissett ball. Sure. Seahawks.
Rams at Niners. I have the Rams on the road.
Yeah, Rams too.
I have the Rams.
Gotcha. Lions at Commanders. I have the Lions.
And Lions.
Yeah. Commanders. Again, very easy. I picked them last week because I have that much faith in Jaden Daniels, but they are so easy to pick against when he's not playing. You realize how fast that roster is just not good. And they're banged up as well. Let me not, the receiving room was talented. But anyway, Steelers at Chargers, Sunday Night Football. I have the home team. I got LA.
Sorry, Danny.
I picked against the Steelers last week. Not doing it this time. The Steelers.
Go Chargers, go. And I need that. Unfortunately, Danny, it's not just because I want to say that. I need it for my sake for my Ravens. I need y'all to lose. Unfortunately, I need y'all help.
Well, in Danny's last couple picks, he picked against the Steelers. They won. The last time he picked them, they lost. So maybe we'll learn something with this pick. But Monday Night Football, Eagles at Packers.
Ooh. It's a good one.
I have the Eagles.
Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Cry. Pack, cry.
Now, let's move. We can move on to our bold picks and lockets. I believe it is Chris who has the first pick on bold picks and lockets. Just going to give a quick update. Our picks records. Chris is 75-43. I'm 73-45. Danny 77-41. That would make Danny first. Record-wise, Chris second, me third. Bold picks. Me and Chris are 3-4. Danny is 2-5. As for locks, not so lucky. Those two are 6-1. I'm 4-3. But Chris, you're on the clock with your bold pick and your locket.
I was trying to find to see if the Jets were underdogs, but I'm almost sure they are.
The Jets are 2-point underdogs.
Well, you can count on me picking Justin Fields and the Jets for my bold pick.
This might be the first time the Jets were picked for anything this year.
And they are playing the Browns, a team, one of the teams that could possibly be as bad, which they aren't, but could possibly, but they aren't. But I'm picking the Jets, and I'm totally ready for it to be Browns 20-3. But I'm picking the Jets, and then my lock, I'm picking the Bears over Giants.
Bears over the Giants. Bears are a scary lock these days, man. They just play to their competition level, whether that's for the better or worse.
And Rome Odunze's dad is tired of it. I can't wait.
Apparently, I just got a notification for an article that Rome just doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, same with Marvin Harrison.
I mean, that's the
Weird.
player PR thing, but there was also the mic'd up where like it just seems like he doesn't care either. Like
Yeah,
it
just what
kind of is
Marvin
what it is.
Harrison
He could
said
also
about his
catch the
dad
ball,
too.
which would help. But Danny, you're on the clock for your bold pick and your lock it.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it pretty simple. I got Buffalo as my lock and Steelers as my bold.
All right. Buffalo is the lock. Steelers as the bold. Those are two pretty good ones. I think for the first time ever, I'm just gonna look through one more time. Oh, never mind. I'm going to lock the Lions. I was considering locking the Panthers, but I mean, no Jane Daniels. Lions are due for a bounce back win. They'll need that. And then for my lock, I don't even know if I picked any or my bold pick. I don't even know if I picked any that would like qualify. Oh, Tampa Bay is 2.5-point favorites. Give me the Pats for my bold. So for our bold picks, Chris has the Jets over the Browns. I have the Patriots over the Buccaneers, and Danny's the Steelers over the Chargers. As for our lockets, Danny has Buffalo over Miami. I have the Lions taking care of Washington, and Chris has the Bears over the New York Giants. So that's about everything on this episode, this Sideline Summit exclusive episode. They want to talk about real quick about JJ McCarthy, fake demon, yes or no?
Yes.
He said, "I have his alter ego is 9." Wrap it up, buddy.
That dude, get the.
Wrap it up, buddy. You know how corny you got to be for me to like at least Jackson Dart. Like I don't know. At least Jackson Dart flashy with it, man. I don't know.
At least Jackson Dart actually has aura and isn't just aura farming. Like Dart actually has some aura. McCarthy's trying.
Yeah, Dart took McCarthy's Anakin chain, as they were saying, so he has to fall back on something else. But thank you guys for tuning in. Again, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Audio listeners, leave a like, 5-star review from AP New Freezer, Culture by Migos, DC Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next week.